Today I'm going to be talking about the budgeting method that changed my life. Hi, welcome back to the Budget Mindset YouTube channel. I'm Sandy. Today I'm going to be talking about the budget as you earn system, or as I like to call it, the Baye System. This is the budgeting system that I created that has completely changed my life. Before I created this system, budgeting for me involved paying my bills whenever I could and spending the rest. When I mean spending, I literally spent every single penny that I had left. I didn't have any savings, I wasn't paying off my debts. I basically was a mess, and that was until I created my system. I was living paycheck to paycheck, I was on a low income, and I didn't know whether I was coming or going. I was just not in control of my money. I really wanted to be able to start budgeting. I just didn't know where to start. So I Googled how to budget, and I got so many results come up, but to be honest with you, I couldn't find a system that would work for me. Like I said, I was living on a low income. I was getting paid every single week, and so I needed to make between 5 to 7 different budgets per month, and I just could not find a system that would work for me. So I decided to create my own system. It's called the Budget as You Earn system, and this system has completely changed my life and the way I budget. So today I'm going to be sharing that with you, and hopefully you too can start budgeting and taking control of your money just like I have. Hi everyone, so this is the Budget as You Earn system, and I'm just going to be taking you through the budgeting method that I use. This system, I budget as I earn. So no matter how many times you earn during the month, no matter when you get paid, this system is a universal system that you can use to budget your money. The first thing you have is the bills and events calendar. The first thing you do is put all of your bills and events on a calendar. And then what I do is I color them in respect to the paycheck that will be used to pay them. So you have paycheck 1, and this is gonna pay the gas, electricity, mobile, Amazon Prime, and Netflix. Paycheck 2 will cover gas, electricity, council tax, and Xbox. Paycheck 3 will cover gas, electricity, credit card, TV license, and store card. And then paycheck 4 will cover the remaining bills, and everything on here needs to be included in your budget. Like I said, I budget as I earn, therefore I create a budget for every single paycheck. This is great to see when you expect money to come in and when these expenses have to come out. It really keeps you organized. That's why I like to put everything that needs to be included in my budget on the calendar. The second page you have is the monthly overview. This allows me to see an overview of what my money has to do. So here I've got projected income of $3,206.55. And what this page allows me to do is to kind of plan out how much has to be put for bills and payment, how much for variable spending, how much for saving pots, how much for extra priorities. It just gives you kind of a plan of how much needs to be put in each category. So I love doing this just so I can see what I'm working with. I know that I need to leave £1,563.43 to cover all of my month's bills, and these are all my regular bills, the due date and the amount. And what is left over, then I know I can use that for my variable spending. Once I've taken leftover A minus the total of variable spending, I have leftover B, and I know this amount is what's left to cover my saving pot, and then whatever's left I put extra towards a priority I have. That might be debt, that might be an emergency fund. This page is amazing because it allows me to plan before the beginning of the month. There is also a weekly overview. This is basically the same thing, but what this does is it breaks it down per paycheck. So you've got paycheck 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or if you get paid every week like I do, it's week 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is a great sheet to really delve into more detail and plan more. I would suggest people to at least do a monthly overview because that will set you up to budget in a better way, so you can at least see where you need to allocate. Those that get paid weekly, or for those that want greater planning, this is a really good sheet as well. Next, we have the bread and butter of the Budget as You Earn system. I consider this to be the butter element. The bread element, which is the expense tracker, I will show you that in a minute. This is the butter element. This is the income and expenses tracker. We'll go through this in a minute, but these two, the income and expenses tracker and the spending plan, really are the bread and butter of the system. So this is going to be used to cover my bills that are in pink. I'll show you here. So as you can see, it says #1. The 1 represents the first paycheck. Okay, the next one we have is the 2. That would represent paycheck 2, and the next one we have is paycheck 3. That represents paycheck 3. So if you get paid once, then you would use paycheck 1. If you get paid twice, you would use paycheck 2. And if you get paid 3 times, you would use paycheck 3. So the paycheck represents how many times you get paid. And it's really easy. You just take all the bills that are in pink and put them in the first paycheck here. All the bills that are in green, I would use the second, and then all the ones in orange I'll use for the third. Really easy to get organized. The first thing we do is I start off with a starting balance, and I think it's really important to start with a starting balance. And so what I found was I didn't know how much was actually in my bank account, and so by starting with a starting balance, it makes me go in and actually check my bank account and look at my balance. So we have a starting balance of £527.30, and then here you would put your income salary that you project. You budget, which is your plan, then when the money comes in you would write the actuals. The same way as you budget first all these bills, and then when they get through, and then you would put the actuals. The same with your spending. You budget for your spending and then you put your actuals. So you do your starting balance plus the income that you have coming in, which totals this amount. You add these two together and that gives you a total income of £1,125.55. And what this is, this will then need to cover the total bills here. You do your total income minus the total bills, and this is what you get. You get leftover A. You take leftover A and then you take away the total for your variable spending. You have leftover B. You take leftover B, use it for any sinking funds or saving pots you have. Then you have leftover C, and that is what we're going to leave in the bank as a closing balance. So this system is really easy to use. It takes you step by step on how to budget. So this is your spending plan. So this is your actual budget. Then you can tick these boxes to represent any category that you're going to be using cash. And what I would do is I would tally up the cash total here. So I project that I need £220 worth of cash for all of these items. Then if you also are going to use cash, then it would be good to use a cash breakdown. So I would take the budget total of 220, and that's the cash I'd use. I would write the categories and each amount. As you can see, groceries 125, eating out is 25, personal is 25, and so on. And then what you could do is you get two options. You can either just take this out at the ATM, the cash machine, or you can go and take it out at the counter. I sometimes just prefer to tick this, and I know that I'm going to take this amount at the cash machine instead of going to the bank, to the counter. But you have two options, which is great. If you are going to use the counter, you can break this down as well. So 125 is broken into 6 20s and 1 5, and then once you have this, you write the amount here. So again, this is just helping you break down so you know exactly how many 20s you need, how many 10s, how many 5s, and the value. And then you would use this cash teller slip. You would fill this in with the total. You would cut this out and you can take this to the bank or to the counter. There's 5 main paychecks, so hashtag 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but I also have extra ones because I know that some people get more than 5 paychecks in 1 month. 3, 4, and 5. But if you need extra ones, there is also an extra one if you need an extra. One thing I realized was that we all have access to the same number of weeks in a month and the same number of months in a year, and in that period we're going to get paid. So whether you get paid once, twice, or multiple times like I was, you're going to get something. So why couldn't there just be a system that you could budget according to the number of weeks or number of paychecks that you get paid? So the premise of the system is that you budget as you earn. So I earn every single week, and so I budget every single week. And the hashtag paycheck number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 refers to the paycheck or the week number. Ever since I created the system, I have been in control of my money. I have been tracking my money every single day, manually tracking every single day. I create a budget every single time I earn, and for me that just means that I'm able to stay in control of my budget. I'm able to think ahead, I'm able to plan ahead. The next thing we have is the income and expense tracker. I would recommend you start off with tracking your expenses. I feel like if you track your expenses, and this will tell you exactly how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out. Like I said, the income and expense tracker and the spending plan are your bread and butter. You honestly, if you can fill this income and expense tracker in, you've got everything covered. This alone will tell you exactly your income and how much money you have going out. Your expenses, it will tell you your starting balance, your closing balance. It will tell you how much you had in every single week. These total income is for week. As you can see, we start on a Monday to Sunday, but you know, it's just easy to go by the working week. But each of these represents how much you have received income wise for each week, and this represents the expenses total for each week. So I like to put the income at the top here. As you can see, on Monday the 1st, I had £36.25 come in, and then on Friday I had £562 come in, which totals £1,125.55 with the starting balance. You always add the starting balance so we can get a total of your income, because your total income, which it says it here, total income equals starting balance plus your total that you have had come in. So I've organized this in a way where it just makes it easier for you. You add your starting balance, you add money that's come in. These two added together make $598.25, and then these two make your total. And then you take this, your total income, minus your total expenses, which is $1,112.48, and what you're left over with, which is $1,307, that becomes starting balance for the next week. Don't worry, everything is explained. There's step-by-step instructions on how to use it, but I like to put my income at the top, and then I put my expenses here, and I color code my expenses according to the categories. The ones in green are all of my bills. The ones in orange are all the groceries, you know, Morrison, Lidl, those are kind of my two groceries. Those are kind of my two supermarkets I like to go to. Spending is in pink, sinking fund savings, and it's really easy. And at the bottom here, you would see the color coordinates to the category, and you write the total amount that you spent for the whole of the month. Your total income minus your total expenses equals your closing balance. So this really is the bread and butter. If you can fill this in, you'll be all right. We also have the account balance tracker, which is great if you want to track different accounts. At the bottom here, we've got emergency fund, £200, spending account, £20. I use this to track every income I have coming in and every expense I have going out. But this is great to track actual different account balances. You write how much has gone out, the balance, and available. So it's great if you want a running total of an account. I use this mostly for my current account. My method is a complete financial plan. So it does include taking care of your debts and your savings, as well as knowing where you stand with your net worth. Your net worth is essentially your assets minus your liability. So this is where you can see things like savings that are working for you, and you can also see things like debt, which is working against you, or taking money out of your pocket. And this is where you write your current debt and any debts you have in collections. I don't have any debts and collections currently. I did in the past, but I'm so happy I no longer have that. You write all of your debts, previous amount, the interest charge, minimum payment, amount paid, any extra payments you've made, and then the amount remaining, and you write your total debt paid off. This is great because it helps you get all of your debts out of your head and onto paper. Sometimes we find that we feel too overwhelmed to deal with our debts, but I feel like when you put things down, it gives you a great starting point for you to be able to start making a plan on how you can pay off these debts. And some debts in collections you can actually end up making a settlement, so don't worry. First thing you want to do is just put everything down on paper. This allows you to see your sinking funds and any savings and investments you have. Your net worth sum is really important because it allows you to see your assets, things that you own that are working for you, and then your liabilities, things that are working against you. Total net worth is your assets minus your liabilities, and it gives you a figure. And it doesn't matter if it's in the minus. Mine is in the minus, but that's okay because this allows you to see what you have to work with. This sheet is the savings and debt summary. What I love about this sheet is that you can see at a glance if you have enough savings, if you can use some of that to offset some of your debt. The final page we have is the spending snapshot. This is great, so you can see everything that you have been tracking in the month. You can see it all in one space. So you've got your total income, total expenses, total saved, total debt paid off, your closing balance, your total cash left over if you use things like cash envelopes, your total savings, total debt left, and then your net worth. There's also a personal reflection section here, so you can see what you're proud of, what you want to focus on for next month, and what you're looking forward to as well. Here you have a system of rating yourself, and I use these star stickers to kind of give myself a rating to see how I manage my money, because the whole purpose of tracking all this is to see where you stand financially and how you are actually managing your money. I think it's really important to have visuals that help you see the progress you're making when it comes to things like savings and debt. So included in the system is savings pots visual, and this is a wheel that you fill in to see how much you saved. Like I've got a goal of saving £1,000 emergency, and I've got 500 saved, so that's like half of the wheel. Christmas is 500, save 200, so that's nearly half as well. It's a great way to see your progress and just keep you motivated. This is a debt payoff visual tracker. Here you put in the balance that you've paid off, and then here at the top you see the total debt. So you have £500 worth of an overdraft and you've paid back 150. So when you get to the top, that means you've paid all of it off. Again, it's great visual for you just to see and helps you kind of stay motivated, I find. I also have another visual tracker that I like to use. This is a jar, and you put what you're saving for at the top, the amount you're saving for. So emergency fund, £1,000. You put your deadline, trying to get by December. Here you break down the £1,000 into smaller amounts, and then say if you want to save £50 every week or every month or however much you can save, and then you color it in the more you save. So currently I've saved about £500 for an emergency fund. So again, this is another tracker to visually help you to kind of make progress on your savings goal. I just find having a visual tracker makes me want to go all the way to the top and reach kind of the amount that I'm saving. So yeah, I love using visual trackers. I think they help. I will leave links down below to everything. So this is my budget as you earn system, the system that I use to budget my money. I will be making other videos on how I close out my budget every month and showing the other pages in more details. I will put links in the description below so you know where you can find it. This system has made budgeting for me something that's fun, successful, and something that I have been doing continuously for 5 years plus, and before that I wasn't. I really hope that this system ends up helping you as well. For me, this system system just makes budgeting so easy, and ever since I have started using this system, I have been successfully budgeting. To me now, I love budgeting. Budgeting for me is fun, and it's an easy way for me to keep in control of my money, stay less stressed and stay less overwhelmed. I'll be making more videos on the different pages and showing you more detail how to actually use each page. But I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So if you found this video helpful and you enjoy personal finance and you enjoy budgeting videos, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.